excited and happy to have Joe and Nally from the band Urne. Joe, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me, mate. Like I said, I'm glad I could make this in time. I thought the trains were going to ruin my journey home and miss everything, but I'm here, so thank you very much for having me.
Now, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. I'm like over the moon about this, seriously. So yeah, let's get into it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your past works. So the EP, Mount of Gold, and Serpent and
hmm
Spirit. So first of all, I was thinking, has the composition process changed? Starting from the EP, going through Serpent and Spirit, and then A Feast on Sorrow.
hmm
Has that changed at all?
Well, with Mountain of Gold, previously myself and Angus we've been in a few bands with each other, but we were in one band where we both joined, so it wasn't originally like our kind of thing.
Okay.
And it was like a band called Hang the Bastard, which was on like Century Media and what have you. And they did really, really well in Europe. And we that was a bit more of a, I guess, a sort of stonery, sludgy sort of vibe. And I guess that's why we get tarnished. Tarnished, it makes it sound bad. And that's
Yeah.
why I guess we get brushed with the same thing. But I, that's not my world at all. Me and
Okay.
Angus kind of grew up listening to whatever Death, Nevermore, Cynic, Metallica, Testament.
Gotcha.
So we joined that band, and I guess that's why in a lot of reviews, people say that, but I don't hear it whatsoever. I, I just think it's heavy metal, and I feel like we listen to a lot of heavy metal, and we've let
Hmm.
that seep into all of our music. And so with Mountain of Gold, some of the stuff I wrote for that, I was actually writing for the previous band. I feel I wanted us to kind of go in a bit more of a mature kind of classic metal sound.
Okay.
And then the band split up. So we kind of just wrote, and I feel like it's a very different sound to where we are now.
It is,
And
yeah.
we kind of just needed to get that out of our system. And the original sort of thing I wanted to kind of do Danzig meets Thin Lizzy, essentially, with a splash of the sword. And
Gotcha.
then we put it out, but I guess that's music that I've added on throughout my life. It's not what I grew up on. Like
Hmm.
Danzig, I started liking about when I was about 20, and same like Thin Lizzy a few years later.
Hmm.
And and so, I mean, I played shows with a sword and what have you, but what I grew up on was very different. And it did okay, but I knew what me and Angus could write. So after we kind of did that, I kind of spoke to Angus and I was like, I think we know what we need to do. But it was still, we wasn't signed at the time. And
Okay.
if you listen to the, if I listen to Serpent and Spirit, I think the song Serpent and Spirit's great. I think Memorial's great. I think Desolate Heart's great. I think Palace of Devils and Wolves is a really great live song. I think almost all of Tune is really good. I think Moon in Sky has a really good half. But I think if I listen to it, it was still mates just kind of having a bit of fun and kind of seeing what happens. And we got signed from it. So then all of a sudden now we're a serious band. And
Got it.
A Feast on Sorrow, as you know, A Feast on Sorrow is a lot more of a serious project. So yeah, no, it just I feel like I say the EP, we need to get out of our system. We didn't really know what we were going to do. The next album is let's be semi-serious but have fun. And then this new one, it's just like now we're a band.
Got it. Well, yeah, personally, I think all of the works are great. I really enjoyed the EP, especially what's the first song?
Dust
Dust,
Atlas.
yeah, Dust Atlas. I love that song. The
Oh,
last part of it, just like it's so good,
yeah.
man. I love that
And
part with the
if you listen to it, there's no double bass on the whole album, on the whole EP. So I was
uh-huh.
like, what we do, we just keep it to one kick, and then
Gotcha.
that's a little change. So when we go to the album, all of a sudden, we're kind of using a bit of double bass. Now, if
For
you listen to
sure.
the new one, it's like,
Oh,
so
hell
it's
yeah.
just kind of like, let's not, let's kind of slowly embed things, let's slowly put things in. So, I want to. I feel like me and Angus hold a lot back musically, and
Okay.
what I feel what's worked with that is what's good for us is that people who are like us know that we try and do. We like a lot of music, and that
Mm-hmm.
comes through. So I feel no matter what we do next, some people might be like, I like the heavier stuff, but they would always appreciate what we might do. And there's some
Got
people who will love whatever we do, and there's some people who will probably like that but didn't like that stuff before.
it.
Um, and I'm excited for where we're going to go now. I feel like it's an exciting chapter that's about to open up for us.
Oh, I bet, definitely, especially after this like last album, it's just amazing. And also, I
Yeah.
have the Serpent and Spirit album right here. Yeah,
Oh, nice one, nice one.
yeah. But anyway, I was gonna ask you. Oh, I guess you already answered what your favorite tracks were from Serpent and Spirit.
Oh well, I think the best track on there is the song "Desolate Heart." I think if I still think if I could get Urne, and I would say this is what Urne is. I
Uh-huh.
think it's Desolate Heart, and I think it's a stumble of words. I think that is
Got
what
it.
Urne is. I think the instrumental's great. Some people think, oh, it's actually probably. I know people will say is it inspired by Metallica, but it's actually. I wrote a kind of a lot of that.
Okay.
Probably more Megadeth
Huh.
and Death.
Okay.
Um, and that was my main like inspiration. But I will say that the opening song of Serpent and Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
it always seems to go down so well for a 9-minute song. It it seems to really people seem to really love it. So that must be good. But Desolate Heart, a stumble of words for me. That is what Urn is.
Nice. And they're both excellent songs, especially well, not especially, but Desolate Heart, and the lyrical part of it, it's like really hard hitting. It really gets to you. And like I was like
Thank you.
telling you previously, Serpent and Spirit has a really special place in my heart because of
Hmm.
my 3-year disease. I also had this back problem, which I needed to have surgery, but I couldn't afford it. Then my brother gets hit by a car, my older brother, and this all happened in those 3 years. So,
Yeah,
a lot of like struggles
yeah.
for the whole family, and but
It's
anyway,
it's weird how so many things. I think I look if I look back on my my family timeline, it's always there'll be everything will be fine, and then there will be 2 or 3 years of shit,
yeah.
and then 10 years ago there was 2 or 3 years of shit, and then 10 years before that, and it's a mad thing how it all happens to work like that.
Yeah, seriously. Same thing here. Everything was fine and then it's like just get put in this like
Yeah,
pressure cooker. But anyway, the Serpent and Spirit just really like the whole album and the how it flows, it really I feel like it's my own struggle, and how I
yeah,
couldn't breathe and like I was having I felt like I was outside of life, for those
yeah,
3 years. And then with the seventh song, the Memorial Sing Me to Rest and A Tomb So Frail, which
yeah,
I both love so very much.
yeah.
It's like that coming back to life. And I remember like
Yeah.
seeing myself just when I was getting better, just like being outside and just like like screaming, like what is the lyrics here? I'm like back to life now, like
I couldn't even remember what the
yeah.
lyrics are.
Well,
Because
anyway,
in the booklet we only give away a paragraph of each lyric.
uh-huh.
Again, that's another little thing we held back things, but like that album, it has a lot to do about a world beyond, like almost I guess like the sort of Matrix. This is the world, but then there's another world that's around us,
Uh-huh.
and kind of drifting in between them sort of realities. At your deepest and your darkest moments, drifting over to another side. But and in the end, at the someone asked me this the other day. The last words in Tomb So Frail, they were like, do you say Satan? Can you save me? I was just like, no,
Uh-huh.
Savior.
Yes. Yeah.
Savior, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Like, God, Savior, I've saved myself,
Uh-huh.
and I've saved myself, or I saved my soul. I better remember it because I'm going on tour soon. So yeah, it is almost like just as you think you're about to like let go, you that last moment where you pull through.
Hell yeah. And I really dig that part. Yeah, I think it says I saved my soul, I think you sing. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's like
yeah,
really hard hitting for me. And but anyway, yeah, that memorial sing me to rest. The part I was going for is when you say you know, the chill of the winds, the rain from the heavens, it's all coming back to
yeah,
me. That part, you know,
yeah, yeah.
that's exactly how I felt because, you know, I couldn't go outside, I couldn't walk, I couldn't work, I couldn't do shit, you know. So
Mhm.
that part is just like really important, you know,
Yeah,
meaningful
no,
to me.
uh, that's great to hear, mate. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you
Love
very
that
much.
album.